Do the ordinary things exceptionally well. That is a Zen saying, and it is a great saying. The ordinary things exceptionally well. That means following price movement each and every day, focusing on the simple things that we teach. That is the Heikin-Ashi candlesticks, the trend lines, and of course volume. Now what you see on the screen right now is our new and improved updated daily market worksheet. You fill this out every day if you want to supercharge your training. How does it do it? Well, it helps you write down and focus on what's actually going on. Here's where you put the trend each and every day on the S&P, the NASDAQ 100, 20-year bonds, and gold. You also put the volume. How is the volume progressing as you move through the week? Comments here about what you see, where the candlesticks are, what's going on with the trend lines, and the actions you are taking or getting ready to take. You do it on each one of the charts that we follow. You do it each and every day, and I guarantee you it will help you see things you otherwise would not see. It makes you focus, not just listen, but doing. Would you try that? I'm going to include this in the show notes. If you're not a subscriber, go to chartingwealth.com and subscribe. They'll be in the show notes. The email you get each and every day. We never spam, never share that list. If you're already a subscriber at chartingwealth.com for free, you'll get it in today's email. Look for it. There'll be a link. You can print those out on your own and fill them out. You can do it even as you listen to the show or wait until after and go back through the charts yourself. It will take you just a few minutes. Most valuable thing you can do. Let's jump into these charts. We see everything down for the day, not down a lot. Bitcoin the most, but not a lot down for Bitcoin. Gold is up. Now let's jump into the S&P 500. As we start this week off, you see the high reached last week was 440.93. This week, 441.33. So it did pump up a little higher on the weekly Heikin-Ashi candlestick. Of course, it settled out just a wee bit lower, 0.10%. You can see it was up in the morning. See what it did in the afternoon. That 2-day that represents Friday and Monday, punching higher. And you know what we're going to do as we start the week? We're going to redraw our trend line to get something a little more vertical and better than that nasty flat line of last week that did nothing for us. We can see the 2-day and the half-day are well above that weekly trend line. Volume starting off weak. Now again, if you're filling out the volume portion of the weekly chart that is on the worksheet that we have there, if you're filling out that volume, you'll look and you want to say, okay, it's day one of a 5-day week. Does that look like a fifth? No, it doesn't. It does not look like it's moved up a fifth. So that would be a weak start to the week. You can see also on the 2-day chart, a weak 2-day candle below the average. That's what this black line is. And when you look at the half day, you can see weak in the morning, weaker in the afternoon. So the volume, very important to pay attention to, as well as what you see going on with the candle. Now the NASDAQ down a little more, 0.31%, not a lot. But again, as we look, we're going to, of course, redraw our trend line, try to get something a little more vertical, a little helpful. We're above on the 2-day and the half-day. Again, you can see the prior high on Friday on that half-day chart was 378.54, 378.28 and 25. So again, down a little bit, not reaching the high of Friday afternoon. Look at the 2-day candle. Again, it represents Friday. Of course, it has that high in it, and Monday. And we look at where we are as far as the week starting off. That prior high, 378.54, 378.28, of course, down just a little bit for the day. We will pay attention as we move along. Again, we can see volume very weak, volume decent here, but of course that represents mostly Friday. All the volume was up in the morning, but then petered off in the afternoon on Monday. So important to pay attention to all three charts, all three time frames. I guess we would just call this one chart, 3 time frames, and look at how they interact with each other. remembering that the half day is, again, the smallest chart we look at. We have to multiply it by 10 to get it to the weekly, 2.5 to get the 2-day to the weekly. So again, pay attention to those things and try to see and understand how those different time frames influence each other. Okay, let's move from stocks, go into bonds. Bonds down for the day, 0.23%. Now again, bonds tried to take off moving up last week. Again, as we start for the week, we see a weak candle. Our volume is red, meaning that it starts out lower than the prior opening. And again, as we see things move up, we're starting off with a red volume. Now, it doesn't mean that the volume's negative. It's just showing you where it is starting from. We can also see weak on the 2-day. It's representing Friday and Monday. And we can see where bonds actually peaked last Wednesday afternoon, have been going down since then. So keep a close eye on bonds. Let's see where they go weak on the volume, on the weekly, and the 2-day and the half day. So bonds starting off quite slow. Move on to gold. Gold up for the day a little bit, 0.56%. We can see again weak volume in gold, but it is going down. We couldn't draw this last week. We'll draw it this week. Again, not a super steep angle there on the trend line, but it at least gives us something. And we can see how volume on these, how price on these smaller charts stacks up on this trend line. We can also see volume. It's lower than average over the last several 2-day candles. And of course, it's lower than average for quite a while on this half-day chart. So again, keep our eye on things, see which way gold is going to go, if it's going to continue to flux down with weak volume, or if the volume is going to build in the down move. So we'll watch, wait, and see. Lastly, we will move to Bitcoin. This is the VanEck Bitcoin Strategy ETF. It's not a 24-hour-a-day Bitcoin chart. It's not at one of those exchanges. You can buy and sell it on the market. So it's something you might want to consider practice trading if you don't want to put your money at some point in time down the line in one of those exchanges. Now, there's some other funds apparently that are supposed to be coming that will be perhaps even better than this one, but I've enjoyed watching this one, doing some practice trading. And as we look, we can see things really rolling off for the day down. It's our own, it's our biggest downer, 1.80%. We can see that as the week starts, we are getting somewhat weaker. Again, not moving up. We're actually going to have to redraw our trend line to capture where things are. Maybe if we update it, that'll help a little bit. We can see the volume okay so far. Look at this 2-day. Lots of volume there, but not hitting the prior high of last week. And of course, we can see we're down in the morning, a little further down in the afternoon with high volume in the morning. Not quite average volume. Well, maybe half average volume in the afternoon. So we'll keep our eye on Bitcoin, see if it is going to slow down or just digesting like we've seen it do a few times, and then sprout back up again. That is where we are as we start the week. It's always a pleasure to have you with us. We love to hear from you. CW@chartingwealth.com. If you want that daily market worksheet, we're also going to be putting out over the course of this week the weekly market worksheet and the trade worksheet. To get all of those, go subscribe at chartingwealth.com. It is free. It'll be in your show notes each and every day. You can download the chart right there, print out as many as you want. I'm sorry, not the chart, the worksheet. I'm not used to saying the worksheet because we didn't have the updated worksheet until I did them all over the weekend. God bless, my friends. All the best from the whole team at Charting Wealth World Headquarters.